What's up? What's good? What's happening with it? I am Epic, and this is Media Circus Online. And I want to ask black people as a whole, uh, when is it a good time? When do we start pointing the finger at ourselves instead of pointing the finger at everybody else for the state that our people are in this current environment where we have overly aggressive women, we have kids who don't listen to anybody, we have a culture that glorifies uh, using women, using drugs, uh, crime, everything that is frowned upon by society seems to be a boiling in a boiling pot of what we call our culture. And when is it a good time for us to start pointing the finger at ourselves instead of saying is somebody got their foot on our neck and keeping us behind? When do we start saying it's your fault for our current state of living? Because if you look at these other races, um, for instance, I'm in construction. You go to any construction site in California, the Mexicans have it on lock. They have construction on lock. You go there, you be lucky you find one white person. You find one white person, he's the foreman or he's the manager of the site. You have truck driving. I have a Class A license. When I went to truck driving school, I was the only black person there. There were Russians and there were Arabians, Middle Easterns to be specific, Pakistanis and Indians. They're all getting their truck driver's license. You look on the road, look next to you, you see a trucker. Majority, 9 times out of 10, it's going to be a Middle Eastern. Um, Food trucks. Mexicans have the food trucks on lock in my town, in my city. You can't go one block without finding a burrito stand or a burrito truck. And you can't find any black trucks. They have them, but it's not like it is with the burrito trucks, the taco trucks. And part of that reason is black people would rather buy from other races, Chinese food, uh, taco stands, Italian restaurants, everything but a African food stand. It doesn't even have to be African African. It could be an African American greens, neck bones, anything like that. And chances are it's not going to flourish in the United States. Whose fault is that? We give these people all our money while neglecting our own neighborhoods. Look at our neighborhoods. You have these gang members who say they love their hood. You say anything bad about a gang member's hood to his face, you're liable to get killed. But do you see them out here cleaning up their neighborhoods, picking up the trash? No, chances are they're going to be victimizing the people who live in their neighborhood, making their neighborhood undesirable, a place where people don't want to live. So, whose fault is that? Do we point the finger at white people, Asians, Mexicans, or do we point the finger back at ourselves for allowing it to get to this point? Because it just didn't get to this point overnight. We can look at the introduction of drugs as a catalyst, as a starting point for where this happened, but we're all grown to a certain extent. Yeah, we have kids who are growing up and learning, but me as a man, I cannot blame somebody else for my decisions in life. I went to prison for over 20 years. I did 16 years straight. I've been out for almost 5 years. It hasn't been 5 years yet, but I own a house. I own multiple cars. I have money in the bank, traded stocks, won, lost. But I did it. And I know people who have never traded stocks in their life. I know people who the only time they had bank accounts is when they were trying to run it up, when they were trying to do some kind of scam. So who do they blame for that? Do they blame themselves for uh, not wanting to succeed, wanting to just sit back, collect a check, um, do whatever they have to do to survive for that day instead of looking for the future 10, 20, 30, 40 years down the road and then looking at their kids' future who are coming after them. Who do we blame for that? I know Bill Cosby a few years ago, uh, long before he caught these charges, he said something that made black people get up in arms and come for him when he said black people, the parents, need to start taking accountability for their children's actions. And that's exactly what I think, because a lot of these um, up and coming criminals are all 14, 15, between the ages of um, their preteens up into their 20s. So you as a parent know when your kid is up to something. If you don't, then you're not paying attention. Your kid is coming home with new shoes, designer belts, stuff like that, and you know that you can't afford it and you didn't give it to him. How do you think they got it? And you're just going to take his word that it's his friends? What kind of friends do you have? Aren't all his friends living in the same neighborhood as you? So who do we blame for this? Do we blame ourselves? I'm saying black people have to start taking accountability, blaming themselves for the state that our culture, our people are in. And look at the culture that we push. Um, Crime is a good thing. Being a criminal, we all the rappers took names after Italian mob figures back in the 80s and 90s. Now the new names that they're picking for their rap careers is I Kill 'Em All and Bury the Body in a Ditch, Little Blue, or NBA No Jump Shot, I Just Shoot People. Who raise these kids? You have to blame yourself when your kid, for one, doesn't come home. He's been shot. He was out at 2 o'clock in the morning. He's 16, out at 2 o'clock in the morning and got killed. Who do you blame for that? You can't get on the news and start pointing the finger and wanting somebody to pay because you weren't paying attention. If you pay attention to your kids and start disciplining your kids, listen to what they listen to, tell them what they can and can't listen to, what they can and can't do, I guarantee we'll start seeing a difference in our culture, in our people, the respect that we get from other people. We can't demand that people respect us if we're not respecting ourselves, for one. We have to respect ourselves. And just saying that I'm a boss, I respect myself, doesn't mean that you actually respect yourself or the people around you. Respect your neighborhood. Keep your neighborhood clean. Patrol your neighborhood. If you go to a white neighborhood, you're speeding, chances are you're going to have a white person chasing you down while calling the police and going to tell them exactly what you do. They'll take a day off from work just so they can come to court and help them prosecute you. Our neighborhood, you're supposed to look the other way when somebody's tearing up your stuff. But that's just my point of view on uh, where our culture is right now and how we can make a change, the starting point where we start at. Let me know what you think. If you think that I'm overstepping my bounds by telling parents to, keep their kids in check, let me know. I'm all ears. We can run this back and forth. Holla at your boy. But anyways, I'm Epic, and this is Media Circus Online. Peace.